Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome to both you guys. Hope you had an amazing weekend. We was a little bit quiet over the weekend with Chelsea news, so there's nothing really for us to sort of go through with. It's a brand new week. And we are hopefully expecting some sort of movements. God, pray to the Lord, should I say? Some sort of movements in the window from Chelsea now. We've got lots to go through with Sterling, Ziyech, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, De Ligt, a couple of break-ins that have just recently come out as well. We're also going to talk about Thomas Tuchel as well. There's so much to discuss, guys, but make sure that you smash the like button. We have got Con here as well, who will be introducing into the show soon as well. But make sure you smash the likes and subscribe to both GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV as well, guys. I hope you are both well on both channels, obviously aired on both. Something that we've again agreed, which is collabing throughout this sort of period, shall we say, summer transfer period, to give you sort of the updated news, give our thoughts and opinions, bring on close panels like we've got Con today. It's his first one. We're going to get to him in a second. You've seen Pies. Ben Jacobs has been here as well. Ben Jacobs is back on the channel on Thursday as well, guys. So make sure you're here for Thursday, 1 o'clock. Thursday, 1 o'clock with me and Ben Jacobs to go through all of the stuff. Sorry, I just got a random text. But anyway, let's get into it because we do have not a new guest to GNA TV, but to the Chelsea Fan TV side. Maybe on your side, it's probably new. I don't know whether Con's been over there or not. He'll be able to explain now. But Con CFC is with us in the house. Con, how are you, brother? How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me on again. And yes, my first time on Chelsea Fan TV. Big up Jem for getting that collab. Very much deserved. He's great at what he does, and it's always a pleasure to be talking to you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that. And it's always a pleasure to have you on stream with me as well. See, the thing with me and Con is we've always sort of, I'd say 99.9% of the time, seen eye to eye with things, especially when it comes to Chelsea topics and debates and stuff like that. So it becomes a quite nice show, easy show to go through things with Con. I'm just not going to lie, it's very nice. But over 160 of you guys here, we've only been in 2 minutes, 160 plus of you guys are slowly still in as well. Big up to every single one of you guys. We'll quickly say hello to every single one of you, as I always do at the beginning of every show. But make sure you get the likes up, guys, because our aim is to get 200 likes on both channels today. So make sure we do that. Big up to Erin. Nice to see you, bro. Chelsea all the way. Big up to you, Michael. Gavman, Sirs, Ilias, big up to you. Khalid, big up to you. Dyke, big up to you. Who else have we got here? Curtis, Pola, NS Sports TV. I hope you are well. Yeah, it feels like Monitor FC. There's a lot of other words we could use for Chelsea right now. Big up to Texas Blue 24 as well. Nice to see you in the house. CFC Ali. Yep, we've got to go through them recent Simon Phillips comments. Trust me, I've already got them up to date. Con's actually doing quite a good job here. He's keeping me up to speed with things. If anything breaks, I'm sure we'll be able to share it with you guys. Matthew, big up to you. Andreas, bro, nice to see you back in the house. Big up everyone from Latvia. Frustrated to see we still didn't sign any of our targets. Hope Sterling's incoming in the next 2 days. Well, we have news on Sterling. We're going to be talking about him very, very soon as well. Jose, brother, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Grey Stinner, it's nice to see you. M3, Daniel Crane, my boy Weezy in the house. Nice to see you, my man, as well. Dominic Carney, big up to you. Says big up to both of us. Talk Blue says big up to Con CFC. Nice to have you here. It definitely is. Varna, Baba, Vivzi, Declared, Johnny Walker, Daniel Crane, Boogeyman. I mean, we could be here all day. There's so many different people here, but over 200 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you. And we're going to start with something which I actually got sent on Twitter by one of my boys. Actually, I thought it was quite funny. Todd Boehly has Twitter. Yes, he has Twitter. I'll repeat myself. Todd Boehly, the Chelsea owner, the Chelsea main face, so we say the main face of the new ownership, has got Twitter. So if you guys haven't followed him, please go and follow him now. Yeah, I can expect that to grow pretty quickly, to be fair. Con, are you following Mr. Todd Boehly on Twitter?
When you told me, I thought I'd drop him a follow. Our owner, he's got twitter.com. He hasn't used it for a long while, but maybe one day he might just come on. It might be on his old phone. He might find it down the back of the couch or something. Just a spare iPhone that's been used once. He might log into his Twitter and see us talking about Chelsea news. So you never know. It's worth the follow.
You never know, mate. You never know, mate. One day he might even jump into space, one of Con's spaces.
Could you imagine it?
Todd Boehly and Con CFC on Con Space. That'd be sick, man. That'd be sick.
Mate, he'd be DMing me saying, I ain't got a chance to speak. Everyone keeps speaking over me.
Can you imagine certain individuals coming on there as well? We're trying to tell him, like, no, we need this. We need that. We need this. Why are you keeping him? He needs to go. We need to get him in.
Could you imagine, bro? It'd be too funny.
Hey, Jim, ex-Con CFC, 2 Chelsea Goats, big up. Big up to the owner of Chelsea Fan TV, who's in the chat as well. Big up to you, man. Nice to see you in here. Check that score, guy, Jim. Don't worry, bro. I've got it. Don't worry. I've got it. Jim feet Tom, question marks. Can you imagine? Jim feet Todd Boehly on Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV. Can you imagine that? He commented under a Spurs post out of all posts to comment under. Yeah, but I swear it was like when I read, someone sent me it as well. I swear it was like he was pretty much taking the piss out of him, which was a first good move from Todd Boehly. Like, I like that. Sam, nice to see you. I'd be further down the line for De Ligt to reach Rudiger's form. I'd be further down the line. It'd be further down the line for. Oh, right. It would be further down. So yeah, that makes sense. So you feel that it might take a bit of time for him to get in. Have they really? Oh, I need to get these up. See what I mean? Go live and all these little things start coming out. I love it. Con's just shared with me something else that I have to bring up.
Like, this the amount of little news coming out right now, bro. It's like I'm just trying to keep up. I don't want to like spam your DMs with stuff, but everything's
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad you have, because now I can. Where is it, Con? Is it actually? Have you sent me it? Oh, you have shared it. Yeah. Chelsea are attacking 20 years or no. All right, okay. More news. Rafinha news now, guys, which we wasn't planned to go through as well. So we'll throw in Rafinha into that mix as well. We've got loads to go through. Where's that comment from Simon Phillips that you just said as well? About Olise.
It was the score tweeted it, so it's from his article. I'll send it to you on DM.
Save it a DM. All right, we've got a donation already from Chelsea Old Boys. Thank you very much for this donation. He says, our spines have always been our focal point. Check Terry, Makaleli, Essien, Lampard, Drogba. We are switching to a 4 at the back. What would be your spine, old/new? I get what you're saying. I think you make a lot of sense in what you're saying. I think when you think about the old Chelsea, that was the spine. You could probably throw, your phone check in there as well. Check Terry. I'd even throw Carvalho in there to a degree as well. Potentially we will switch to the back 4. And obviously we're going to be going through Tuchel's comments from Simon Phillips in regards to a potential switch in formation. We've got a Neymar news vid tomorrow as well on Chelsea Fan TV. So make sure you guys watch out for that. And also make sure you subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV, but also GNA TV as well. 300, nearly 400 of you guys all in here combined. But we've only got 52 likes on the Chelsea Fan TV side with 250 of you guys here. GNA TV side, we've got 40 likes, 150 of you here. So let's get them likes up and let's move on. But go and follow Todd Boehly if you haven't already, guys. Let's get into it thick and fast because there's so much going on. And we're going to start with news in and around, when I find it, because I've got so many tabs open. This is the problem. Oh, where are we going, Jim? Where are we going? Here we go. We're going to start with the news in and around Hakim Ziyech, because obviously Mouseball have said that Chelsea expect to agree a deal with AC Milan for winger Hakim Ziyech, but Christian Pulisic is in no rush to leave after being discussed as a make-weight in the bid for Juventus defender Matthijs de Ligt. And we're going to be talking about de Ligt a little bit more later in the show today. But yeah, there's a lot of the sort of the Ligt news heating up as we speak at the moment. Sorry if I go quiet here and there. It's just because I'm reading tweets and stuff. But in terms of Hakim Ziyech, it looks like he will be leaving. Some people were trying to find out how much, what for. Well, Simon Phillips has given us a sort of an insight roughly of where he thinks and how much he thinks he will leave the football club. Hakim Ziyech to AC Milan. The offer to Chelsea is reportedly €5 million for a year loan with a 20 million obligation to buy next summer. Chelsea are pushing for €25 million obligation. When you work that out in sterling, that is pretty much a bargain. And when Chelsea bought in for, was it 32 mil? Might have been a little bit more than that. You know, again, we've kind of made a loss when you look at it. Con, this is news that we kind of knew was going to happen eventually. We know Ziyech's going to leave. It makes it look like he's going to go and follow his best buddy Lukaku over in Italy. But what was your thoughts on the whole fee and the loan fee and the obligation?
Considering we got him for, I think it was 34 mil, wasn't it? It's not the worst for sure. And if Tuchel doesn't see him in his plans, I feel like it's best to get these players out the door instead of trying to hold out for the highest value possible. I think that's hurt us down the years with Marino trying to do that. But it kind of sucks on a personal one, bro, because I love this guy, Hakim the Dream Ziyech, bro. He's one of my favourites. I've got a signed shirt from him. Like, I love him so much, bro. So this one for me hurts, but I just think he's a bit of a victim of circumstance here. And I'm sure for AC Milan, that's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for us. It's a good deal for him. I think it's a really good deal all around, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we signed Zeke for 37 mil. Thank you, Winter Surfer. Just giving us a bit of insight on that. I thought it was a little bit less, to be honest. I don't know why. But anyway, we move. Yeah, I agree. He wasn't my... Ideally, out of all of the forwards that we're going to leave, I'd probably say that Hakim Ziyech is probably one of the first for me to go out the door. Only just purely because I don't think he suits the Premier League, and I don't actually think he suits what we're doing. But if we are looking to switch into a back four, that's maybe something that he could benefit from. So kind of makes you think, well, if he's good in the four, but Tuchel's ideas, which we're going to look at the Athletic report a bit later on, where they're talking about the switching formation potentially. When you look at where Ziyech played his best football, it was always in the back four at Chelsea. So, you know, interesting stuff for Chelsea to take that decision or make that decision to let him go, unless he's kind of forced the decision, even with knowing that we're going to switch the system across. But maybe he just wants to start games, and he knows he ain't getting enough game time at Chelsea as it is as well. So I think it makes sense from both sides. But then again, I keep saying, we let him go. We've got to make sure that we bring in personnel. We need to have the right personnel coming through the door. Don't want Werner to leave, is what No Cap is saying. Shouldn't have been dropped when he was on a run of form. But they all sort of were in a run of form, and then they sort of dived out of it, and that was the issue for me. Chelsea in advanced talks for Sterling. Yep, we're going to get into that a bit later as well. But yeah, there you go. There's news on Hakim Ziyech and where we stand with that. We're going to talk a little bit quickly about the fantasy news. That's just what I call it, just fantasy news. There's over 450 of you guys here. Nice to see every single one of you. And that being that Nizar Kinsella today came out saying that Cristiano Ronaldo was offered to Chelsea and Neymar is open to a Stamford Bridge move. The focus is all on Raheem Sterling, with Thomas Tuchel not keen to be seduced by star power. And that is the big word for me. That is the real big word in all of this for me. Con, what's your thoughts on Ronaldo, Neymar? I mean, big names, marquee signings. Do you feel Chelsea could potentially get either or is this just, again, a bit of fantasy news, as I like to call it?
I think there's a lot of agent talk. You know, Ronaldo not really happy with the situation where he's at. PSG looking to maybe get rid of Neymar. So obviously the agents are going to be doing the workaround. Ronaldo, I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. I just don't think that's what we need. We saw last season a striker who doesn't press, you know, who's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense, I guess. It doesn't bring that intensity. Like, it hurts last season. With Ronaldo, it will hurt again. And with Neymar, you know, the kid in me, bro, we spoke about this last time. The kid in me, I love Neymar. I think he's a flary guy. He brings joy to my face when I watch him play football. Is it the best deal for Chelsea? Probably not. But I respect what Tuchel's saying, because I remember him saying about Neymar how hard he is to manage, you know? And we don't want another like the Lukaku situation there where a player comes in and he thinks he's better than everyone else. So maybe for the dressing balance, it's a good thing, but Same up, man. So hard.
Come out and come back in, because you're really crackly and you keep coming and going. I don't know what's going on with your connection.
Can you hear me now?
No, you've gone all funny. Come out. You might need to come out and come back in. Sometimes it does that. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get Con back on in a second, guys. It seems like he's having a little bit of issue with his mic at the moment, so we'll wait for him to come back in a second. He'll have to sort of come back into StreamYard, so we'll get him back in a second. He's lagging. Yep, don't worry, he will sort it out very soon. He's usually quite clear, to be fair. I don't know why. It happened with blimmin' Pliers the other day as well when he came on the channel. He had the same issues, so unusual stuff. But for me, I've made it very, very clear. It's one of them ones of, I don't feel that these players suit Chelsea. I know some of you guys feel that it would work, Neymar, this, that, and the other, but it's just so much for me that doesn't work. 31 years old, plays 20 plus games a season. You know, he's going to be meant to be one of the main starters out of the 11 that, you know, that we have, which means that he's going to have to play a minimum of at least 40 games a season. Can we rely on that? Can he do that? I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sold on the fact that he can. Cristiano Ronaldo, top goals, you know, great goal scorer. Again, I don't know whether he suits the Tuchel system in terms of the hard work, movement, running off the ball, etc., etc., etc. But it's definitely one that we have to keep an eye on as well. Just getting more news coming in from some other stuff as well. Just going to resend Cond the link so that he can come back in. Just resend him the link now. So we'll go into this in a second as well. But my question to you guys would be, are you interested in the idea of either Neymar or Ronaldo? It'd be quite interesting to know if it works for you guys, actually. So if we put in a little poll quickly, temp fix, I don't know about that, Daniel. I don't get that. I'll do a quick poll anyway on GNA's site quickly, just saying, would you take, who would you take out of two, actually? Who would you take? Connor, you better now? Let's see.
I changed to my beats and my laptop was like really hot, so I had to unplug it from charge. And my MacBook's dying in this heat, bro. It was like freezing. I think that's what the issue was, but I changed my headphones anyway. Do I sound better?
Yeah, much better. I can hear you now. It just sounded a little bit crackly, that was all, when and you kept sort of lagging a bit. So I've just put a poll out for you guys. Who would you take to Chelsea, Neymar or Ronaldo? It'd be quite interesting to see if any. It probably won't get any of them. Let's be serious, but it's worth actually just seeing how people feel about it. Nearly 300 of you watching on GNA TV, but less than 90 likes. You obviously love Jem and his channel, so do him a favour. Big up to Winter Surfer. On the Chelsea Fan TV side, we've got 260 live viewers. On the GNA TV side, we've got 220. So, yeah, get them likes up, guys. Let's get this over 100. The Chelsea Fan TV guys are already nearly over 100 already. From the Chelsea Fan TV side, 67 likes, guys. Come on, let's catch them up as well. Let's try and get this over 100 likes. But yeah, for me, it's one of them ones that I don't want to entertain, not one bit. I don't see us doing anything with it. But Con, going back to you, because you were cutting off, we didn't really get to hear you properly. What was your thoughts on this Neymar and Ronaldo sort of links to Chelsea?
For me, bro, I think it's a lot of agent talk. Ronaldo isn't happy with the situation where he's at. Obviously, United missing out Champions League football. It looks like PSG might be trying to push out Neymar because of the big wages and that thing his contract where he can extend for an extra year. So I think it's a lot of agent talk, to be honest. Ronaldo wouldn't touch with a barge pole, bro. I just don't think it's what we need. Neymar, you know, we discussed this long last time, bro. The kid inside me, my head says no, my heart says yes. You know, it's one of those. And I don't blame Tuchel if he wants like a superstar sort of player in his team. We saw what Lukaku did last season, thinking he was better than everyone else and how much that disrupts things. And, you know, Tuchel's previously managed Neymar as well, and he's said how hard he is to manage. So, you know, as good as Neymar is, with the injuries there, how hard it would be to manage, I get why Tuchel would say, you know what, I'd rather not get a Neymar or a Ronaldo kind of player. It makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just reading because it's really cryptic messages on Rafinha going on at the moment from Alfredo at the moment. I don't know what he's saying there, but Basically, is it even worth me bringing up? I don't even know, to be honest, because it doesn't make sense. So I probably won't review it. But basically, it's just Rafinha, Chelsea, Barcelona, Barcelona, Chelsea. I don't get what he means by that. I don't know what he's talking about there.
Who was that, bro?
Alfredo Pedula, that guy. If you go and check it out.
I can't. You blocked me.
Why did you block you? What are you doing?
It was years ago, bro. I can't remember what it was. I think he linked us to a player like Kendraver and said the move was close. And I said, "Why are you lying for?" And he blocked me.
What are you lying for? Oh dear. Staying on the talks of Ronaldo, it says Ben Jacobs already come out saying that Cristiano Ronaldo has not returned to which we already know. And then it says the club's stance is still not for sale, but they also just want a resolution on way or the other way. Sorry, on way or the other, so that the focus can shift to a new era under Ten Hag. The club don't want Ronaldo to stay, but not as at the expense of him overshadowing their summer. Hence why they still. Oh, sorry, the club do want him to stay. So hence why they still want to listen to offers. So it's one of them ones, a bit like Neymar, I think, where they will allow him to go for the right price. But if he ends up staying because no one comes for him, it's not the end of the world. So that's what I feel with the whole Neymar news as well. I don't feel it's something that is just going to, they're just going to force him out the door and get rid of him. So we have to keep more of a watch out for that. It'll be interesting to see. It's Alfredo is close with Sarri, is what Concierge Climb saying. Neymar jokes a lot with the ball gems. Do you think this could be a tactic Ronaldo is using to force a move? I don't know. I don't really know if he wants. I mean, he's not turned up to train today, but apparently it was for family reasons as well. Big up to Concierge of Crime. Nice seeing you in the house, bro. Appreciate it as always as well. We're going to move on to a little bit more of more breaking news actually, which is to do with Rafinha, because we've got this comment here from RJP Journalism. So basically says that Chelsea are pushing for a definitive yes/no answer from Rafinha in the next 48 hours. It is possible Chelsea only sign one attacker if Vale/Cho impress in pre-season and Brower sticks around. I don't know if I believe that, Con. What are your thoughts? I mean, the 48-hour thing makes sense because I do feel that Todd Boehly wants to speed this up. He wants to know what this guy's doing. And if he doesn't want to be here, pull the blimmin' contract under his feet and let's just move forward. But in terms of only getting the one attacker, and we already know that we linked Sterling, and then if Vale or Cho impress in pre-season, they'll be given opportunity. What do you think on that comment?
I don't believe the second one. I don't think Harvey Fowler's going to be in this squad for next season. He looks still quite raw. I think he'd struggle even if he got a Prem sort of loan. I was thinking more of a Championship loan for Harvey Fowler this summer, so I don't know how much of that I believe. But just reading the Alfredo tweet again, I went on my Prive to see what he said. I think he's saying there, so it said Chelsea, then Barcelona. So like Chelsea, then Barcelona hijacking, and then Barcelona to Chelsea. So I think he's trying to say or imply that the tides are sort of changing again. I think that's what he's trying to imply.
Oh, right. Fairs. All right. I've just had some Jules Kounde news that's made me a little bit excited. Oh, my God.
There's Kounde news as well, bro. We're getting spoiled today.
Yeah, we're getting exploded. Listen, guys, over 500, nearly 600 of you guys there, and we're just getting hit left, right, and centre with break-ins, and we're going to be going through everything here. So make sure you stay tuned, but get this up to 200 likes. Nearly 600 of you here. Big up. Go and check out Con and his Twitter as well, CFC. So, yeah, go and show some love over there. Yeah, I agree, bro. I don't think Vale and Cho are, and that, yeah, Vale and Cho. I don't think they'll stay on. I mean, no, sorry, Cho will stay on. Vale won't. Cho needs to impress for me this transfer window, but I'm just not sure how he's going to do in pre-season. To be honest, I was in one of them positions where I was like, do you know what? How many chances do we have to keep giving this guy? 4 goals in 75 appearances plus in the Premier League from Callum Hudson-Odoi is just not good enough. But at the same time, he has been out most of this season. Is he going to be given a chance? Yes. Chelsea doesn't seem to want to loan this guy out whatsoever. So at the end of the day, have him as backup. Ziyech's going to leave. We might lose Werner and Pulisic. We're going to need people there, but he needs to step up. And ultimately, we need to see a better Cho going into next season. So let's see what happens with that. Rafinha, I guess I'm still not sure on, to be honest. It is up in the air. It does look more likely that Barcelona are going to take him on as well. Grimy, I'm getting DMs left, right, and centre. What is going on here?
Just a quick one on this article, bro. So someone tagged me under this Rafinha one, and
Yeah.
our RJP journalism. He's a guy who actually knew about the Rafinha bid from Chelsea before David Ornstein, so he does have some sort of credibility. And he said Tuchel wants two forwards on the assumption that three are leaving. So far, Lukaku has gone, and Ziyech is the next closest to go. If Werner, Broha, Cho, or Pulisic go, it changes the picture again.
Interesting stuff. And to add to that, because Piers has just literally commented a second ago on Rafinha from Liam Towney as well. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's coming out left, right, and centre. Is this what you were talking about? This? Was it Rafinha's pursuit stemmed from Tuchel's desire to have an aggressive winger. There's even a possibility of a 4-4-2, which Tuchel deployed Sterling more centrally should Boehly close out a deal for him. Is what we've got here as well. So, well, it would make more sense as to why he's bringing him in. But the 4-4-2, you'd use him as an out-and-out winger. Would we benefit from playing a 4-4-2? I don't get who would be your two up front. Would it be like a Havertz and a Sterling? From what he's saying, Rafinha pursued stem from Tuchel's desire to have an aggressive winger. There's even a possibility of a 4-4-2 with Tuchel deploying Sterling more centrally. I don't think we do a 4-2-2. We have two strikers up front. I think we could see like a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1 potentially with Rafinha further out on the wing. But it'd make more sense as to why Chelsea want Rafinha because of his versatility. And we know how versatile he is, not only playing from the forward line, but also being the option to play as a wing back. I know a lot of people don't want to see him as a wing back, but it does give Chelsea options moving forward. It gives Tuchel options, and that's the main thing, finding versatile players that allow us to adapt to different systems. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Fabrizio Romano's actually come out with something on Kounde, which we're going to talk about in a bit. I keep getting DMs, man. What is going on? My phone's blowing up. My computer's blowing up, bruv. Well, that's obvious. The other one that I've got from Chelsea HQ on Rafinha, just staying on it, says Barcelona and Rafinha's representatives are trying to make Chelsea angry by delaying making a decision to force the Blues to give up on the player. Feels like that a little bit, doesn't it? It feels like that Rafinha is willing to just wait for Barcelona, and by doing that, they're probably waiting for Chelsea to pull the plug, aren't they? By looks of it.
See, the thing is here, I think I don't think Leeds are going to wait around all summer. And I think that's what Barca got to be very careful of, because Leeds can easily turn around and say, you know what, we're keeping him for another year now because we've had enough. You're not giving us enough time to get a replacement. Leeds won't wait around all summer for a deal that's going to be paid mostly in installments anyway. This broke club, bro, will give me a headache. Broke Kelowna, bro. Like, these guys can't afford anything. Like, me and you, Jim, are more financially stable than Barcelona. Yet they think they can sign players for 60 million. Like, this club's doing my head in, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make us pull out so then they can get him cheaper because they can't match our bid. And because that bid's legally binding, they have to match that bid. Leeds can't accept a lower offer. So, they can't afford it, clearly. If they could, they would have matched it by now. They can't. So that's what they're trying to do. And you see all the Spanish journalists, bro, putting out, it's nearly done. Rafinha doesn't want to go to Chelsea. That's not true either. Rafinha has been open to the idea of Chelsea. He just prefers Barcelona. So they're just trying to do anything in their power to Chelsea to pull out. And in my opinion, Chelsea should just stay in. I hate this Bro Kelowna club, man. UEFA Kelowna, Bro Kelowna, bro. I've got slander names for days.
I don't get, and this is what don't make sense to me. How are they linked with Bernardo Silva, Rafinha, Demebele staying, Lewandowski, Kessie, Christensen, potentially maybe even keeping De Jong, and that's without, I think there's another 2 odd players that they're linked to as well. How are they financially doing this? Like, there comes a point where someone has to investigate them, because this is a club that can, literally what Con said, is scraping the barrels of their pockets. Like, how are they able to do this? And what they're doing is they're just fucking up everything in football. They just generally are just fucking up everything in football. I think the Chelsea fur kit's just been released. I'm just looking at it now as well, which is mad. It's white with blue stripes. Have you seen that? It's got like blue stripes going like that. And the side
no, I haven't.
Oh, there we go. I'll just bring it up now where we're at before we move on to some news so people can see. So this is what the kit is looking like, guys. You're getting a bit of everything today. Todd Boehly kits breaking. There you go. I don't like that one bit. Makes you feel sick looking at that. What do you think, Con? Out of 10?
I actually like that one, bro.
Why?
I actually like that kit, bro.
Why? Why? What is nice about that kit? He's got weird lines down the
Bro,
middle.
I like it. That's a nice summer vibe top, bro. Can you imagine that? A bucket hat, some sunglasses, go to a festival, bro. That's a vibe. That's a vibe.
Loafers, tight jeans. You know what I mean? We were right. Do you know what I mean? Looking quite good, actually, isn't it? Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Viewers, what's your thoughts on that one in the chat? Do you rate this? Do you rate this potential Chelsea kit? I did put out a poll earlier. Said who would you take to Chelsea, Neymar or Ronaldo? And 63% said Neymar, with 37% saying Ronaldo. So interesting stuff. People seem to pull more to the Neymar idea more than anything else. Looks like toothpaste on a piece of paper. That's a good one, Mister. I like that. I do like that one. Nike is killing us, man. To be fair, I think they actually are killing us. I actually preferred the Adidas kits, man. Them Adidas kits with the Samsung sponsoring. I don't even know how Free are still our sponsor. I really don't get how Free are still our sponsor after all of this as well. 8 out of 10 is what CFC Allington's saying. Ali's saying 6 out of 10. We've got here, give Boehly a follow. Just started on the app and is giving some great news. Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about earlier. But there you go, guys. There is the picture of the potential for a kit. But we're going to move on to a little bit more before we get into Kounde news. I don't know how true this is, but Rafael Leao is one to keep an eye on, and is on the backup list of options for Chelsea in attack. And as usual, Con, backup, Interest FC, Monitoring FC, Tapping FC adds another player to their long dictionary of players. This guy has 150 million release clause to his name. How likely do you think something like this could happen?
I think it's very unlikely. I think it's way too expensive for our budget. If we only wanted to get like 1 or 2 players, bro, then I'd be a bit confident, because Chelsea's more appealing than Milan, I feel. But yeah, bro, we ain't got that kind of money for him. Not for what AC Milan would ask.
I agree. It is the 2023 away kit. Someone's just said as well on Twitter. So that must be the new away kit going into next season for Chelsea. Interesting stuff. But yeah, again, I ain't got much to say on this other than I just don't see it happening, guys. I genuinely don't see this one happening one bit. But we're going to move on to Fabrizio Romano's comments now on Jules Kounde, because this is quite interesting. So the Barcelona boys, and obviously the director of Barcelona, were very, confident on the whole Kounde thing, but they kind of said, look, once we get past phase 2 and we've got that in that sort of build up of funds behind us again, we're going to look at the potential of Jules Kounde. And a lot of what we heard was Barca are linked to Kounde, Barca have offered this, Barca have done that. Well, the Sevilla director, Monchi, has just came out with a comment saying there are 0 contacts with Barcelona for Jules Kounde. No talks ongoing. I understand Xavi as Origo and Kounde together would be great, but there's nothing. Marcao, he's only many options in my list. So basically, they're still looking to cover their areas. There's always been real talking and around to the tier 1 specifically that Chelsea are still very interested in Jules Kounde. We've already had meetings with him and we've had 3 negotiations of him. All 3 didn't work. We ended up coming back. We've been told again that there's potential that we will go back in again to try and get this over the line. Con, how does this feel when we think about Barcelona and all the targets that we want? It seems like they're just trying to hijack every single one. But when we get a comment like this, does that still give you confidence in Kounde potentially coming to Chelsea?
I really do think if Chelsea want him enough, we get him. I don't think Barca can pay what Seville want for him. I think they made an offer of like 40 million euros. That's euros as well. Like these guys are beyond broke. So like they can look at the players we're looking at, calm, but we can actually afford them. You guys are window shopping, There's a difference there. I don't know. I like Kounde a lot. I do, bro. I think he's a brilliant player, but I think if we get De Ligt, I don't think we get Kounde. I'm sorry to break it to you, bro. But
why? Don't say that to me. Why?
Because, bro, it'd be like 140 million on 2 centre halves. It's a lot of money.
Oh God, I just had another breaking comment saying Rafinha to Barcelona is 98% done from Gerard Romeo. But this guy,
he said that. Yeah, he's a waffler, bro.
This guy talks a lot, doesn't he? We'll have to see what happens. Listen, I will not give up on the idea of Jules Kounde not coming to Chelsea. I don't really get how we can't not get him. And for me personally, I want him and De Ligt, because De Ligt can just play off the left and Kounde play off the right. It will be the perfect centre backs to bring in. And if you want to bring Ake in for like 25 mil, bring him. Bring him. I don't care, as backup, as a rotation. But Nathan Ake cannot be Chelsea's main 2 centre backs. I just can't have it. I just can't log that in my head. I can't. I mean, Con, can you log the whole thing of Ake being a potential as Chelsea's main centre backs going into next season?
I can kind of understand it. I can understand it to an extent because he's somewhat proven in the Premier League. Left footer, play that left centre back. He's quite progressive with his passing, and he's not a bad carrier of the ball either. So like he does sort of feel a little bit of a hold of Rudiger. But I don't know, man. For the price tag we're getting linked to, it don't make much sense. I can't lie. I think he's a good player, and if it was bringing him for like squad depth for like 20 million, I'd get it. But for 40 million plus, I don't understand it. Can't lie, mate.
I don't understand it. And we've been told 50 million in many cases as well. And when you think that Jules Kounde is worth around 65 million euros, is really taking the piss, to be honest, if you're my honest opinion, because Nathan Ake and Jules Kounde, and the difference between the pricing of them is peanuts to Chelsea. You do not go and spend 50 million on Ake to not then go and buy Kounde, who Seville want for 65 million euros, which is around sort of 55 million sterling. Now, you would pay a potential 5 to 7.5 million more sterling to get yourself Jules Kounde. I don't like it. There's no logic behind not getting him, is what I am saying. Unless Tuchel doesn't rate him. Yeah, unless Tuchel generally just does not rate him as a player. But there we go. So Barcelona at the moment, as it speaks, have not had any contacts with Jules Kounde. So that should clear up a lot of Chelsea fans' minds in Barcelona robbing Kounde off Chelsea, because at the moment there's nothing. However, and I will say this and I will say it again, Chelsea do need to act, because when Barcelona do initiate that second phase and that influx of money allows them to start negotiating and they can start financing deals again, they will probably come for him. And that's why the Barcelona chairman came out with that comment in regards to Jules Kounde. Probably haven't spoke to him at the moment, but they could look at him as a potential to bring in. And if Chelsea want him and if Tuchel wants him in this team, then we need to get it done. We need to get it done. We can't be mucking around, guys. Listen, over 650 of you guys here in total. Nice to see every single one of you guys here. On the Chelsea Fan TV side, we've got 386 people in the house, 154 likes. Let's get this over 200 likes, guys. On the GNA TV side, we've got 250 there with 96 likes. Let's get this over, guys, 100 likes as we speak now. I'm sure we can do that. I'm sure not every single one of you guys have hit that. So do that and go follow Con as well. We're going to start talking about De Ligt, who is the next person to get into as well. Well, that's potentially what he will be used as, I think, personally. Ake, De Ligt and Kounde will be great. I think we could still get 3 centre-backs. I know a lot of people feel that may not happen, but I've been saying for a very long time that I feel that we could potentially get 3 centre-backs. But talking about centre-backs, we've had this quick little short comment from Alfredo Padula that says that De Ligt to Chelsea conference call, and that's what he just says. So conference call soon. So that could be today, that could be later today. Maybe we hear more news at a later stage on De Ligt. But we're going to go to Ben Jacobs' comments now on De Ligt as well, which is right here. And he basically says that Chelsea are making progress on De Ligt. Juve prefer straight cash deal. They remain interested in Jorginho, but he's not currently a part of any bid being prepared. Chelsea are pushing on De Ligt after Juve softened a bit on price. Clubs are still apart on all price, so add-ons are key. And he goes on to say, told Chelsea are hoping to pay 60 to 65 million sterling. Juventus are trying to push for 70, and other interest and there is the same. May mean that they hold out for 75, but that's still progress from when talks first started and the fear on price was 80 plus. De Ligt very open to the move, and that is true, because originally when we were linked to De Ligt, we was being told around 80 to 85 million sterling, just over 100 million euros. Obviously, he's kind of made it clear to them that he's looking to move on, And now we've got this agreement where they want around 70 odd million. Chelsea trying to get him for around 65, but maybe add-ons is key, which was mentioned here. Con, how excited are you on the Ligt to Chelsea? And is this one that you are feeling more confident on as the days go ahead? Oh, right, he's gone. He's just on the phone. I didn't even know he was on the phone. He just messaged me just now at the back. He will be back with us in a second. Get the deal done on the conference call is what Sebas is saying. 66.5 million is fair. De Ligt can play as a wing back, isn't he? Yes. I think we can get Neymar at the end of the window is what Dino's saying. Why not just Colwill instead of Dutch Maguire? So James ain't happy about this. James is not happy with news around the Ligt. Chelsea need a player. Chelsea need a player who could score head goals like Calvert-Lewin. Is cheaper, is what we've heard here as well. MDL is our new VVD. It's got interesting to see journals giving some info about straight cash preference, but links to different players. And originally it was linked to different players, and that obviously changed at a later stage. So for me, I think Juventus will want the cash. End of. And until we give them the cash, I feel any player going to them won't be a part of this deal. I think it will have to be a certain amount of cash with add-ons. And this is where Chelsea have to maybe increase the add-ons to get the man that they want. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that as well. I'm just quickly keep making sure that I keep myself up to speed on any more De Ligt news. We've still got Sterling. We've got Olise news. We've got Demebele. We've got a little bit on Thomas Tuchel to talk about as well. But yeah, interesting stuff in and around this. CR7 faults. There ain't really much faults to be, Christopher. We spoke about it earlier in the show, and we just felt that I don't feel that he suits Chelsea, and I don't feel Chelsea will look to bring him in. Not in a bad way. I just feel that he's a top goal scorer. He's Cristiano Ronaldo. Yet we get that. But will he fit what Chelsea want? And in the Tuchel system that involves movement and the ability to run behind and press, and I'm just not too sure you get that from him. What do you think about the rumours Tuchel is switching to a back four? We're going to be talking about that very, very, very soon. But I'm going to go back to Con now because he is with us. Con, news on De Ligt. How excited are you on the potential of him coming to Chelsea? And are you confident the more and more as days go on that this can happen?
I'm so excited about De Ligt, bro. I'm trying not to be. I'm really trying to calm myself down and not to be, but I think he's fantastic. 22 years of age, and what he has already in his locker is just amazing. He's so two-footed. He's so progressive. He's an absolute monster in defence. He's great in the air. So physical. He's just got everything. And the way people talk about him and saying, "Oh, his time at Juve, he hasn't been great," but they're putting him in the brackets of the best defenders of the world. They're not talking about him as a 22-year-old. So it just shows you how good he is. If people have to talk about you amongst the best instead of people around your age group, it just shows you on another level. And under Thomas Tuchel, oh my gosh, bro, it'd be so good. But I don't know. It looks positive from what we're seeing, but it's a lot of money, isn't it? And Chelsea didn't really want to pay that kind of money for Kounde, so we'll have to wait and see, bro. I'm trying not to get too over the top.
The thing for me is we say a lot of money, right? But they want 70 million sterling. Yeah. We're offering 60 to 65 million. Originally, the price that they wanted for De Ligt was just over 80 to 85. So it was a lot more. But the reason it dropped is because De Ligt had kind of pushed it himself because he wants to leave. But if you can get him for 65 with some decent add-ons, or even 60 with some decent add-ons, and get Jules Kounde for 50 odd mil or 55 mil, if we can, I would do that. I know it would maybe get rid of 100, 120 odd million of your budget, whatever, fine. But you've got yourself two top centre backs that will, in the long run, will only get better under a manager like Tuchel. We know how good his man management skills are. We know the type of manager he is. And De Ligt is key in terms of other things. When you look at his leadership skills, experience at the age of only 22 years old, he has played in all of the biggest competitions. He plays next to Van Dijk at Holland. He has played with top players, and yeah, he might not have had a great time at Juventus, but we already know that Juventus are having a bit of turmoil themselves anyway. So, I just don't find it respectful when people were sitting there saying that he's like the Dutch Maguire. He's a Dutch fridge. He's not good enough. He's slow. He can't do this. He can't do that, So we did speak on Rafinha already, Swella. We've already gone through that on the show, mate. Not much, really. Still looks like potentially he may go to Barca, but Chelsea have asked for a turnaround of 48 hours for Rafinha to make a decision. Whether we will see that decision, yet to be seen as well. Winter services, remember, as a fan base, we have to remember we are under a new regime. We are in uncharted waters in how they behave when it comes to transfers. Under the old regime, we would never approach this deal. Yeah, I hear that to a degree. I think Marina wouldn't have even entertained it, to be honest, especially for this price. I just have a feeling De Ligt would be incredible in the Tuchel team. Exactly what Con felt as well on this one. What do you feel about people that don't think he's that good, Con? Like, the Dutch Maguire is too slow. He won't be able to adapt to this Premier League. He'll get caught out. He's this, he's that. Is that just typical? Is that just typical Chelsea fans for you? Like, they just can't be happy for decent players.
Anyone who's compared him to Maguire clearly hasn't watched him. Like, that's a bad comparison. It's the same people who compare like Sterling to Timo Werner. It's very lazy comparison, which just doesn't make sense if you watch, the players. I don't know what Chelsea fans want, man. Because if you're complaining about being interested like De Ligt, who do you want then? Because there's not much better out there that's available, What else is out there? Tell me. It comes down to preference. As long as the quality of player is there, you're targeting quality of player. Who cares about your preference? People must say, "Oh, I'd rather Koulibaly or something like that." But De Ligt's 22 years of age, and he's off of quality already. He's on that same quality as Koulibaly already. So I don't know who. If you don't like the player, you don't like the player, but you can't deny he's a quality signing. Who do you want Chelsea to sign? James Tarkowski or something? I don't get. But who do you want?
Nathan Ake, probably, for a lot of these guys. I don't know. I agree with you, though. I think we are too... I mean, look, we can all have our opinions on players. I get it. Some people may like one, some people may not. I just feel that there's a lot of Chelsea fans out there that just don't like any of the targets that we're looking at. I just find it very weird. And these are not like bad targets. These are like top players across Europe, So we're going to have to see. I'm a big fan of Amadou. Defo needs a look at this season. I'm not too sure on him, to be honest. I know a lot of people want him back and being an option as rotation. Maybe I can feel that, but it's not someone for me that can just come in and start straight away. So we move away from De Ligt, and I think that's going to keep growing, guys, in that one. We'll keep coming back to it at a later stage. Just to quickly confirm for you guys, there is a home and away kit for next season as well. There's the home kit, and there is that away kit that we've already seen. I actually prefer the home kit more than the one that we had last season, personally. The away kit, maybe it will grow me once I see it, but at the moment, I'm not 100% of it. I know Con likes the away kit. What's your thoughts on the home kit, Con?
I don't like it. I think it's horrible.
Why?
The collar looks like, what's the collar about, man? I don't get it. It's like the most plain design in the world, which I don't mind, to be fair. But like that collar, like, what is it doing there? It's such a bad collar, man. I just don't like it, bro.
The collar, I agree with. The collar is bad, but other than that, I actually prefer the plain blue. I think last year's kit was butters, man, with all the zigzags and what was all that about? Even though I've got it behind me, actually, sitting there. But yeah, both kits are mid, is what Catman's saying. These kits are disgusting, is what Grey Wolf Dinner's saying. Guys, we've got over 700 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you guys that's in the chat at the moment. Make sure we get these likes over 200, though. We've got 194 on the Chelsea Fan TV side. We've got over 415 people there. So big up to you guys. The GNA TV side, we nearly got 300 people there, but we've only got 117 likes, guys. So let's get these likes up, please, as we're going through the news as well. A quick little one for you guys on something that's just come out of the blue, and that is Chelsea have been monitoring FC style Olise as an option, and that comes from Simon Phillips as well. I actually rate this guy quite highly, and I think he's a good option. And if we can't get Rafinha, then this boy, Premier League proven, still very young, very good with his left foot. probably can get him. I don't know how much he'd be up for sale for, but if Rafinha and it looks like he's going out the window, and you look at that, the potential of finding someone that has the left foot, that's creative, that can could contribute to goals. What do you think of this one with Olise?
I think he's a very, very talented player. Before the end of the season, I was like, if we go and bring back a former academy player, bring back this guy. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Elise? I'm not sure. It's one of those.
Olise, I think
But
I'll probably say it. Yeah.
Elise. But like, if you talk about creativity from the right, he brings that. If you look at the creative metrics from this guy, they're up there. For his age, it's crazy. He's going to be a creative machine. Buying him this window might be a bit premature, but I think he has a release clause next summer of 35 million or something around that. He will be at a big club because he's talented. We're not just talking about like a talented winger. We're talking about a very, very talented winger. He's really, really good. That creative aspect that we want, he could fill that gap. It's just whether you think he'll be ready to make that step up in his career. I don't know. For me, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't mind taking a gamble if we had to.
I think he's a good player. I think there's a lot of talent. I agree with you. The price has to be right for him. You can't be going spending too much money on him. But I think he's a good player, and he's got the ability to take on players. His left foot is very, very, very good. Actually, very good. Seems to find his targets most times. It's an option. Whether we get it done this season, I'm not too sure. Again, it's probably added to the long list of players that Chelsea are looking at. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Olise left Chelsea because of attitude issues. If he's grown out of it, then he did leave Chelsea. That is true. Whether it was for attitude issues, I'm not 100% sure on as well. If I was advising Olise, I would tell him to need to stay at Palace. I'd give him another season. Yeah.
And just another little selling point: his brother is at Chelsea's academy too.
Is he really? Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That might steer him to potentially come back to the club then, or maybe he always wants to come play for Chelsea. It's one of them ones where when they leave and then they've always had Chelsea in the back of their minds, and then Chelsea actually want you now, and it's like, yeah, okay, no problem. Like not the Rafinha crap. Do you know what I mean? Like they just want to play for the club, and if he wants to play for Chelsea and he's already been at Chelsea before, then why not, guys? Why not? Couple comments on Twitter saying scary hours and a picture of De Ligt, so that tells me that something could happen later today. Who knows? We have to wait and see on that one. So interesting stuff. A little bit of news on Raheem Sterling. As it stands, we are still looking quite comfortable with getting him. And it seems to be advancing, is what we're hearing. Chelsea and Man City are in advanced talks for Sterling. Advanced must mean that we're laying down the bid, or the bid to be accepted. And then it's just talking about add-ons and getting him over for a medical, etc., etc. But he's a player that I expect Chelsea to get done very soon. No interest from any other club. Probably why it's taking a lot longer, because Chelsea are maybe looking at other avenues and areas and just know that Sterling's coming. We obviously know that he spoke to Tuchel, personal terms are no issue. It was just getting Man City to accept the offer that we put forward, maybe with add-ons as well. Sterling, it looks like it's going to happen. I still feel like it will, but is this one that does he excite you as a Chelsea fan to have Sterling at Chelsea?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not mad excited about it. Like, he's not a name that gets me off my seat, but I think it's a really good signing and a really sensible signing. So that excites me, I guess, of actually making good signings based on what the team needs and the profiles this team needs. But the player himself, he's got some like 1v1 ability. He can do some exciting things on the pitch, He's very positive. I think it's a very, very smart signing. Not the most exciting in the world, but it's smart. And we need to start going for smart over exciting,
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to be smart. And when you talk about Sterling and the player he is, we've had conversations about this a number of times already. Some people might not be keen on him. I'm not overly keen on him, to be honest. But when you look at his outputs, when you look at his versatility, when you look at the type of profile of player he is, and our system specifically, I think he suits it. I think I think we could see a very good Sterling under Tuchel, and one that Tuchel can get firing and puts his arm around him and gets him playing, we could benefit from, because he will score them goals when we need someone to score. and, and win the game. And something we struggle with our forward line is having a player that can just turn up in the moment where you need him to. And I think he could potentially be that. I really do. He will miss his fair share of chances, and we know he has done in the past. But, there's no doubt that he brings a lot of experience. He knows how to win. I'm surprised Man City still let him go, to be honest, when you look at how much he's done for him over there and how important he is with goal assists over 30 for the last 3 or 4 seasons he's had as well. So, big player, a player that I expect to make his way to Chelsea surely as well. So we'll see what happens more at a later stage in regards to him as well. Just to finish off with that as well, we've got this comment from Ben Jacobs as well here saying a full agreement between Chelsea and Man City for Raheem Sterling is very close and is expected to be finalised earlier this week. So keep an eye out on that one. I see a comment here saying we'll probably end up not signing any player. And Ben Jacobs said, bet you £1,000 Chelsea sign at least one player before the window shuts. We need more than one. Ben. Ben will be with us on Thursday, guys, at 1 p.m. to go through all of the news as well. Hopefully, we'll have some more clarifications on De Ligt's and Sterling's and potential signings coming through the door. We can start talking about contract lengths and how much and how they fit the systems and things like that, which we'll definitely be talking on at some point as well. So, yeah. Let's see what happens from there. But we want to move quickly on to this, which is Demebele, because Demebele news as of what we stand from Graham Boehly is that Chelsea remain hopeful they can still persuade Demebele to move to West London, but he remains locked in talks with Barca over a new deal. Well, he says locks over a new deal, but we already know that they've already offered him something a lot less than what they originally offered him. Chelsea said that they would make contact with Dembele once his contract expires. Con, is Dembele gone? Is the Dembele thing gone for you, or do you still feel that there might be a little bit of hope in getting this player, especially with Rafinha being so heavily linked to Barcelona as well? What's your thoughts on Dembele?
With Demebele, I think he's a brilliant talent. I think he's a fantastic footballer when he's fit. I think the only question mark people will have over him is his fitness issues. If he can stay fit, I'm pretty sure if he's at Chelsea, he'll do a massive job for us. But will he be fit? I don't know. And will he come to Chelsea? I doubt it. I think he's going to stay at Barca because I don't know if they're going to get Rafinha. So I don't know if they can afford it. So they need to keep him. So I can still see him staying at Barcelona. And from what I've seen, Chelsea haven't really been too keen. We haven't really seen that many credible people talk about that we're desperate for him. Look how we went in with intent with Rafinha. Look how much we're going in for Sterling. We just haven't seen that with Dembele. So there's nothing really out there to suggest that he's a serious option for us,
100%. I hear that. I just really think it's interesting to see where we go with this because I do think we need 2 forwards. And Rafinha looks like he may not happen, but then at the same time, like Con said, can Barca really afford it? They've still not put anything forward to Leeds yet. Leeds haven't said anything, even forgetting what all the Barcelona journos are saying, to be honest, because I've not heard any major tier ones even elaborate or comment on that as well. So I don't know. I just feel that it's all still up in the air, for my honest opinion. They want to stay at Barcelona. That's what we've been told. But will Barcelona want to keep them on? And how can they keep them on if they want to bring the likes of people like Bernardo Silva across along with other individuals as well? So we will see what happens at a later stage with Demebele. I'm pretty sure we're going to start getting some answers sooner rather than later, guys. Make sure we're smashing the like buttons, though. 275 of you on GNA TV, nearly 300 of you guys there. Big up to you. Only 130 likes. Let's get this over 150. Yeah, let's try and close the gap to 200. Chelsea Fan TV, you're on nearly 400 people. 228 likes as well. Big up to you guys over there as well. We're going to talk a little bit about Thomas Tuchel next. Thomas Tuchel and the comments from Lynn Towney on Tuchel. It basically says that Thomas Tuchel was using data from an analytics company he was worked with since he was in his Dortmund days to inform his transfer recommendations for this summer. Rafinha was targeted after his creative metrics scored particularly well against other attackers. So he's obviously using a bit of data which people felt wouldn't come into play straight away. And it goes on to follow to say this as well, which is where we're going to sort of start talking about. According to The Athletic, there are strong indications that Thomas Tuchel is looking for a new signing that will ease the transition to a different system, and more specifically, that he wants to play a back four. Now, one thing that we do a lot, Con, and you probably know a lot because you do spaces most days as well, is that Chelsea fans are forever talking about what Thomas Tuchel's going to do, like as if we know what he's going to do. And we've got this comment now saying that he's using data, he's trying to find players with good stats against certain individuals or certain teams, and blah 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 blah. And that now that he is looking to potentially maybe switch the system into a four. Do you see Thomas Tuchel doing that, or do you think it just depends on who we bring through the door through this summer window?
I think it all depends on who we can get in. I think he's got loads of things he'd like to do. One thing we've seen from Thomas Tuchel when he's been at other clubs is he's very versatile. He's not a guy that Mauricio Sarri, you can say he's a 4-3-3 guy. That's what he's going. That's what he's going to be. It's his all and end all. Jose Mourinho to an extent, 4-2-3-1. What we saw at Chelsea. Tuchel, he's very open to adapting and changing formations. But I think it's more to do with the personnel he has and what's the best fit for this current squad, isn't it? So if we can get the players that suggest what Simon's saying there, then sure, I think he'll go to a 4-back. But I think it really does depend on who we get this window.
I think you're right, and that's why I keep saying to you, I know some people are saying, but he wants the 4, but then it doesn't look like he wants the 4 because he's not bringing in the right profile players, blah, 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 blah. I think it's just still all too early to really suss and work out. And for me, it's one of them things of like, it does fall on the type of players we bring in, because if you bring in an Ake and a De Ligt, I think we play a back 3. If they're the main 2, like I don't see us going into a back 4 with them players. You don't bring in a midfielder to strengthen the DM area, which we hear a lot of is a big issue at Chelsea. And then along with that, it's the type of forwards you bring in as well. Sterling can play in a 3, he can play off the left, he can play off the right. Some people think he might play centrally. And then you look at the likes of Rafinha and Demebele, how would they fit in? I don't think we're any closer to knowing or having an idea of what he wants to do system-wise. I don't think we've got the players in yet to actually understand what he would do. Maybe it is the case that he wants to switch to a 4 at the back, and maybe why De Ligt is heavily being linked to it, and maybe not someone like Jules Kounde, is because we need that central back partnership. You have Silva there. You could use Chalobah as right back, Reece James as right back. On the left, you've got Ben Chilwell. You got Malang Sarr, you got Emerson. There's a number of players there. The problem with that for me is just the quality of the depth, and I'm just not too sure whether it's the right way for Chelsea to move forward with that system without having the right personnel. I think you'd need to have more of a sitting DM. I think you'd have to have natural centre backs. You then kind of ruin Chilwell's and Reece James's ways of going forward. I wouldn't say ruin, but maybe you don't see that as much as you do in the 3, for example. I don't know. I don't really. Like I said, I don't really know if it's something that we can talk about much at the moment, to be honest. But it'll be interesting to see where we go with it. A 4-3-3 is an option, and funny enough, I was going to have a little bit of fun with it now because we are getting sort of nearer to the end of the show. And one of the things that people kind of ask me to always do is do like a FIFA squad builder based on formations and players that we've been linked to and how Tuchel could work it if we buy certain individuals. And we can only talk about the individuals that we're linked to more close to. So some people have asked for the 4-3-3, and why I agree, Mendy is definitely one to go in goal. Do you feel, Con, that our left, if we did go to a 4, that the left back and right back positions would 100% be Reece James and Ben Chilwell? Or do you feel we'd still
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Do you think Ben Chilwell may be affected by it, though, would be my question to you on this? Or do you think we need to buy in that area as backup? Or do you just keep Emerson?
I don't want to keep Emerson, man. I don't rate Emerson at all. I'd like to get some sort of backup there. That's why someone like a Kyle Walker-Peters for me would be brilliant. He can cover the right, he can cover the left.
Good shout. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Chilwell output might be a bit less, because you have less license to bring forward.
Of course.
But he'd definitely do a job there for sure.
Reece James on the other side, do you feel that, you mentioned Walker-Peters, I think is a very good option actually, but again, do you feel that we would lose that creativity as much from him, or do you feel like Tuchel may ask them to still bomb forward in the 4? Because I feel like the way that we dominate games and we create a lot of possession, we dominate the position that you'd expect that our, even though they're not wing backs anymore, fullbacks, to be higher up the pitch. That worries me a little bit with the pitch speed, and we're going to talk about the centre backs in a second. But do you feel that we may lose that with Reece James not being able to go forward as much?
A little bit. I still think he goes up quite highly. I still think you'll see him getting a lot of balls into the box, being quite high up the pitch for sure, especially considering how much possession we have versus the majority of teams we play.
Yeah, I agree. And when we talk about the centre back pairing, I'm going to throw De Ligt in there because obviously he's someone that we've been heavily linked with and looks like could happen. So obviously you'd play De Ligt. Who would you play next to him? Would it be the man himself, Thiago Silva? Or, I mean, I don't think we're going to... Who else would we bring in? I'm trying to think. I don't... Because the thing is, we're going to a back four con. I don't feel like we're only buying one centre-back. So buying Ake don't make sense to me. Buying Kounde, he could play centre-back, but he's also played right-back. He gives you a bit more versatility. So who would you play next to De Ligt? Especially after Thiago Silva's gone, which is the other thing as well.
For me, it's Thiago Silva, bro. Obviously, I'd want him rotated a bit, protect him a little bit, but starting Thiago Silva, Rolls Royce.
That is a naughty back four, isn't it? that is a really naughty back.
It is, isn't it?
That is a well with Mendy in goal as well. That's not bad. And maybe having Kounde or Ake, I don't know, as backup. But what worries me is once Silva goes, and we say we want to stick to this back four, who comes in? I mean, you could throw Jules Kounde, I suppose, in there as well as an option as a back four. He can also do this though as well. You've got Chalobah. I don't know. I just feel like the back four. I feel like we could do more with the three than we can with a four when I look at it already, just by like playing around with it. Because with the three, it suits a lot of the players that we're looking to bring in and players that we currently have, like Chalobah as well. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one to see. But three in midfield. Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho. More so, Jorginho and Kante look like their contracts are up in the air at the moment. We've been linked to Savage to Chelsea. Again, from what we've been told on that one, it's not anything formal heavily. We've had talks about it, but nothing big's come out of it as of yet. So if we are stuck with Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, and maybe we keep Ampadu or Gilmore, and Conor Gallagher, for example, who would be your three in the middle for the three going into next season? Because
it would be Georgie, Kova, Mount.
You'd go Georgie, Kova. Now, the reason I asked you this, and I know how much you love him, and it's going to be obviously a talking point, but a lot of people feel that him as a lone DM is a problem, a big problem. That he wouldn't be able to do what is required. So basically, Mount and Kovacic wouldn't be able to liaise and go forward as much as they would like to, because they would have to worry about him being on his own and being not utilised in the right way. Do you not feel that with Jorginho, he has to have someone next to him for the protection more, just because if he does get turned, his recovery speed ain't the greatest? So, like, what's your thoughts on people feeling that Jorginho as a DM in a four-back that just doesn't work? That's what I'm trying to find out.
It's a bit of a myth. Don't get me wrong, some games it could be a problem, but it's definitely a bit of a myth, because if you look at him when he was at Napoli, he was fantastic. When you look at him for Italy, when he went on was that 30+ unbeaten run, he was really good. A pinnacle for that. And even us this season, Tottenham game we won, Crystal Palace we won. There's a few other games I'm forgetting where he played that lone DM. So it's a bit of a myth. Don't get me wrong, it's not the ideal option to have either. But when people say like, oh, if we play with Jorginho at DM, we're going to get cooked. But in quite a few games, you'll be all right if you've got the right players next to them. Because we've seen it before with Jorginho. If you don't watch Italy and you haven't watched him at his Napoli days, don't just guess because he lacks physicality, you know? Intelligence plays a part, and from watching someone like Thiago Silva, you can't see that intelligence is massive. And it's sort of, I don't know, negates a little bit of physicality. If you're intelligent enough, then you know.
So if Savage was brought in, who would fall out of this position?
If Savage brought him, I don't think he starts. Tuchel's never dropping Mount. Kovacic is our best midfielder, and Jorginho's our only holder. So, who would you drop?
Oh, mate, it's you see, the thing is, you can't do that and then get rid of Jorginho because Savic. This is what I'm trying to say to people. Like a 4-3-3 with Jorginho, Kante, Savic, and Kovacic does not work. Because how do you get Mount in the team unless you play him there? But then let's just say we only get Sterling and we don't get Rafinha, we don't get Dembele. Then I think you see Mount further up the pitch. And if you do see Mount further up the pitch, how do you fit Savic, Kovacic? I mean, you could play Savic there, Kovacic there. What about Kante as a DM? Like sitting there. I think that could work.
It's 2022, bro. Let's not be having these Kante and DM conversations.
I don't know. I don't know, man. He's not the same Kante. I know that. I watched a clip of him yesterday, and it was against Liverpool back in 16. And mate, this guy was everywhere. Like the energy. And I was saying, like, when you look at what he was then to what he is now, you can just tell. He, even in the way that he runs around now, that he's heavily been impacted by them. Them injuries have done him big time. He just doesn't look the same player off the ball. He can get around and he'll still do half a job, and it's still not a bad Kane, but it's just not the same. And if it was Kane of 2016, I think you could have seen him there quite comfortably because he would be able to get around the pitch and blah 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 blah.
Do you think he has the? Sorry, Jim. Do you think he has the discipline though?
I think he does. I think when people say that Kante can't play as a DM, I don't particularly agree with it personally. I feel that when you look at, he might not be the greatest DM, and I'm talking about progressively. We know moving forward, he can make a pass, but sometimes he can be a little bit, not good with it with the pass. But in terms of reading the game and being in the right position and allowing these two to move forward, and just have someone sitting. So if the ball goes over there or goes over there, or he has, I think he'd be perfect for it. Like I do feel he could do a job, but you'd need the Kante that I said. You'd need the Kante of 16 because the Kante that we've got now, it's just not. He isn't the same. And I hope and I pray going into next season we get 60 to 70%, and he stays fit, and he's that Kante that I know he is. But it doesn't look. It does look peak, and if you don't play him and you play Jorginho, it's fine. I get it. I just feel that these two wouldn't be able to. One of them would have to sit more deeper. So if Kovacic went, I think you would see that one would probably drop more. You wouldn't have them both pegging up the pitch with the three up front, if that makes sense. I don't think they would leave Jorginho on his own as much as they would leave Kante, if that makes sense to a degree. I don't know. It's a weird one. This is what I'm saying. Trying to work out. I know people saying I want the 4, but trying to work out the 4 and how it would work for Chelsea is very hard. Especially from the midfield area, we know Declan Rice would automatically, if he was bought by Chelsea, just sit in there, and ultimately that would give Chelsea more freedom for these two. You probably see better because they will be able to go forward, and he could sit and do the job. But I just don't think he. Actually, we've had this conversation. I don't think he's worth the money he is. The only other option you've got is to go for this guy, Sangari from PSV. And this guy is a good player, and he can sit, and he will do a job. I haven't watched tons of him, but he is a good player. He's a player that could probably thrive under Thomas Tuchel and give us an option. And for what he's being looked at the moment, I feel that we could look at him as an option. And we may look at him as an option later down the line in the DM area and could work for sure. That's why I threw him in, actually. I mean, where would Ruben Loftus-Cheek fit in that team, Con? I don't think he does he?
No, bro, he doesn't fit into this team at all.
The thing is, I actually think he's more of an 8, Ruben. Like that is his natural position. 8, maybe even like a /10, just playing off behind. But playing him in a 6 just never works. I know he's heavily dependent on his back 5. Some people saying they want him, they don't want him, etc., etc. But we move because we haven't been linked to him. So I'm going to throw in Jorginho. at the moment. When it goes to the forward line, if we only get Sterling, we only really have one option, don't we? Which is to do this. Then my question to you, Con, is how do you get Gallagher in this team? How do you get Pulisic in this team? How do you get a potential Timo Werner in this team? How does any of them players suit the four? That's what I'm trying to say.
Not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not trying to get Timo Werner into this football team. What I would do though is I would drop Mount into midfield. I'd move Sterling onto the right, and I'd put Pulisic on the left.
So you would get rid of So basically, Savic would be gone then, yeah. And then you'd play him just behind, like in there, and then have who would you have in there? Pulisic, did you say?
Pulisic, yeah.
Look, that's the 4-3-3. Some people saying, like Liam Town used to say, that he could potentially look at a 4-4-2, which I need to have a look at this formation because I don't get how we would play this, how it would work. I genuinely don't know how it would work. So you can still have the same back four, and you'd have Jorginho and Kovacic, Sterling off the left. So he's saying Sterling would play more centrally. So you'd have Pulisic off the left. Mount wouldn't be able to play there, though, would he? Like Mount would not benefit from a 4-4-2 one bit. It wouldn't work.
No. That's why they wanted
Rafinha. I'm trying to suss out how these formations work that we're being linked to, unless we buy players that we're not aware of that suit the system. But then you're taking players out that we wouldn't expect to be taken out. It just don't make sense to me. Could you play Sterling there? Nah, don't work for me. I don't know. The 4 just doesn't work. When I look at the 4, ultimately, I don't think it works. Like, you go to this and you put him there, and then you throw him. I'm going to throw Kounde in because I have to, innit? This is just my got to do it. You go for a 3 at the back, and then you go De Ligt, Silva, Kounde, and James Chilwell as your wing backs. Sterling up front, Havertz. Say we don't get another forward, you could still play Sterling, Havertz, and Mount. But ultimately, do we still have the problem in front of goal? Now, Sterling would be bought in inferior of a replacement of Lukaku to maybe score goals. The issue is, playing the 4, you need to have inside forwards. And even in the 3, we need to have inside forwards that score goals. I don't think Mount is that. But like you said, I don't feel that he will drop him. So even if we did get someone like Rafinha, would he sit there, or would we do that with Rafinha? Because that's ideally the way that Tuchel, I think, would look at this. And then you just play, say we didn't get Demebele, you just play Mount there. Or you play Sterling, you play Sterling that side, and you play Mount that side. I think that looks quite good. What do you think of that? If Rafinha stays.
Sorry, I was eating at the same time.
That's right,
I like
no
that.
worries.
I like that. I know people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to play Rafinha at right wing back," but I think he has all the ability to play there. To be honest.
Yeah, some people feel that he can't. Some people feel that he should be more of a forward. The only problem I have with the Rafinha playing as a wing back is defensive duties. Like, I've seen him get back for Leeds and work hard, and we've seen it. I just think you get a better Rafinha if he's further up the pitch. So even if you had him there and you had Sterling there, and that would be quite good. Them three, you don't get Mount in the team.
There's another player you could put into this team as well. David
Ornstein
saying. David Ornstein just tweeted saying Chelsea considering Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, don't do this to me. Is that actually come from David Ornstein as well? He's been so on point.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, David Ornstein, bro.
Shit, he's not even joking as well. Exclusive. Chelsea are considering Cristiano Ronaldo move. Man United currently saying not for sale, but seriously monitoring and not ruling out. Mendes talks continue with Boehly and Egbali intrigued by the idea. Tuchel admires a 37-year-old, but unclear if he would approve.
That last line is why no, because this is Boehly here. It's unclear whether Tuchel would approve. What happened to Boehly getting what Tuchel wanted. That's not getting what Tuchel wanted. If you're unclear if you approve it or not, why are you intrigued by the idea, Boehly? You're not a football man. No disrespect, you're a baseball guy. Like, just because Ronaldo, that you see the stats, you see the trophies won, it doesn't correlate to him doing well at Chelsea Football Club. So, Boehly, I beg, keep out of it. Like, don't try to go for players for your own. Because that's what it seems like. Why would it say unclear if Tuchel would approve? Clearly not something Tuchel's asked for, is it?
I don't think Tuchel wants him. And if Boehly signs him, it's like what you said there. They're basically going to go for the big name. It's the name thing. It's the thing of it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's one of the biggest names, or the biggest name in football. His name rings across America and whatever. It's like David Beckham back in the day. Same thing. As soon as they hear that name, it's like, oh, people will like him. He's one of the biggest names in football. But I don't think specifically how he would fit in. And I've got the article here, actually. I just opened it up just to read more about what Ornstein was saying on this. Because he's brought this out. And that worries me, because when he brings things out, especially this season, he's been pretty much on point. Chelsea are considering a move for Cristiano Ronaldo amidst the forward informing Man United. He wants to leave the club this summer if a suitable offer arrives. Basically, if Chelsea put an offer in that suits Man United and Ronaldo, he's going. And they ain't stopping him. United currently insist Ronaldo is not for sale and have reiterated that he is contracted until 2023. But this 37-year-old has made it clear his desire to depart and not return for pre-season training, which we've been told was for family reasons. The Athletic revealed last month the new Chelsea co-owner Boehly held a recent meeting with Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes, where a switch to Chelsea was among the subjects they discussed. It is believed conversations between the pair have since continued, with Boehly and his fellow director Begdad Egbali thought to be intrigued by the concept of recruiting such an iconic figure. And there you go. There's the word iconic figure. They're thinking of branding and marketing. That is literally it. They're not thinking about Tuchel right now. They're just thinking about how can they grow the name across football. Makes them more money. Why not buy Ronaldo? Every player and every fan, Chelsea fan and fan across the world is going to buy a Chelsea kit with Ronaldo's name on it. That is it. That's what they're looking at right now. There will be numerous factors for Chelsea to consider if the idea becomes a genuine possibility. And although finances are not a likely impediment, the wishes of boss Thomas Tuchel would be key. So does that then tell us that Boehly likes the idea, but it's not sure if Thomas Tuchel is on side, which is why it's key. Basically saying that if Thomas Tuchel says, nah, let's just not do this, it's not working, they'll back it even if they want him. That's the biggest question there. The head coach is a long-term admirer of Ronaldo, but any decision on whether to sign him would require Tuchel's blessing and dialogue between the German trainer and Portuguese international on how he might fit in the Chelsea system. Whether United's stance will change and even their willingness to do business with direct rival is unclear, but the prospect has not been ruled out by the Stamford Bridge hierarchy, and they are said to be monitoring the system. Wow. That came out of nowhere, didn't it? That literally came out of nowhere. But then again, I still feel from reading that this is going to fall down to the faults of Tuchel and if he wants him. Con, you don't want him, do you? I'm assuming you don't want him.
Ronaldo, no. That's what I'm. Ronaldo, no, bro. I don't want him. That's all.
I want to put a quick poll out. Ronaldo to Chelsea, yes or no? Here we go. Let's get it in from people.
But I just don't get why people would want him. I don't get it, because we saw last year with Lukaku, a counter press, as Tuchel says himself, it's like having a number 10. The creativity you get from that and the chances you get from that counter press is so important, and counter pressing is so important to Thomas Tuchel. So with Lukaku last season, it didn't make much sense getting him. If the grand schemes of things, when we actually think about it, it didn't really make much sense. We're going to make the same mistake if we got Ronaldo as well. He doesn't counter press, and you're just taking something really big away from the manager. I don't get it. It makes no sense to sign him.
For me, the only way that you sort of dialogue this, and we're going to go back to the squad thing in a second to try and see how and hell we fit him in this team. Julius with a donation. Thank you very much, bro. He says only Son and Kane scored more than him and not by much. The only reason Thomas Tuchel would not approve this deal is because he would be worried about off the squad harmony and wages, etc. 18 goals in a team like United, he would score 30 at Chelsea, Con. What's your answer to that?
No, not true at all. So what? He scored that many goals for United. Did you see how United play? You know, no, he doesn't. We don't create enough for him. He doesn't suit how we play. Like I don't get it. Just because he's a great goal scorer, it doesn't mean that when he comes and plays for Chelsea, he's going to get those chances. He's going to have to do more. Look at Kai Havertz when he plays. How much he drops. How much he goes to the right. How much he goes to the left. How much he's always moving. Ronaldo's not going to do that for you. You know, he's not. He's not going to press like a madman for 90 minutes. It just doesn't fit the mold of what Tuchel's trying to do. And one thing for me, system over any player. You know, system prioritizes anything else. System over player for me.
Have we not learnt from the Romelu Lukaku thing? Because we brought in a player that did not suit the system, was a goal scorer, and just didn't ultimately take off. I'm not saying Ronaldo would come to Chelsea and do the same thing, but look, it's a tough one because for me, it's understanding how he fits in. He will score a bag of goals at Chelsea. He will. I think he would do that because we will create for him. Ultimately, it goes back to what Con said, though. How does he fit the system? Does the system benefit from him? Do we end up playing with 10 men? Do we suffer in the bigger games? I think we would suffer in the bigger games because I don't think he's pressing. I don't think his movement. I don't think any of that is of that level. The only thing that I would say that is very good with someone like Cristiano Ronaldo is that when he's in the box and you find him, 9 times out of 10, it's going in the back of the net. That's just him. You know, he's a finisher. He's an elite finisher. And he would score goals for Chelsea. He would. I think he would. I'm just not sure that the system benefits by having him in it, which means that in a low block game, or we play against a team with a low block where we're whipping balls in and Ronaldo's in the box, maybe that works. Because in hindsight, his movement is very good and he will get on the end of things. When it comes to playing countering football and getting up the pitch and pressing, I'm just not too sure with it. So I'm really stuck in between. I'm more saying no to this than I'm saying yes. But I'm still very stuck into how he fits in, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Big up to Carefree Lewis in the house. 300 likes or Lukaku returns. That's what he's put as well. Sosa D commented with a donation saying, "Don't want to hear that Sue BS at Stamford." Can you imagine that in a Chelsea shirt? Sue! Oh, man.
I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I can't lie. I'm not trying to hear that at all. That's the thing. Like, I get what Todd Boehly might think he's like this big figure, right? But I would never buy a Chelsea top with Ronaldo on the back. Like, there's no chance in hell I'm ever doing it. And I'm pretty sure there's quite a few fans thinking along that lines too. Like, but Brandon is right, but he's a United legend, man. I don't want a United legend at Chelsea. And he doesn't even fit either. That's the thing. It's not like he would fit us perfectly. Like, the fact that we have to sit here and really think about, how, like we saw last season, Tuchel is not going to change how he plays for anyone. We saw that with Lukaku. He did not change it. So he's not going to change it for Ronaldo either. And then it's going to be the same thing we experienced last season. Everyone's going to be annoyed calling for Tuchel's head. I don't want this guy, man.
Yeah. Don't want to hear that, Sue, is what we've just gone through just now. Cat Critic said it's a tough one. Can Tuchel turn down Ronaldo? Really? Doesn't that put him under tremendous pressure? What, turning down Ronaldo? Why, Couch? Why would you say that? Him turning down Ronaldo is massive pressure. Not too sure now. And what if it's only for a year because we are running out of choices for a front three? What if it's to wait and see how Nkunku does this upcoming season and then pay 60 million buyout clause? It's a weird one. Do you know what it is? Like, it's not that I'm entertaining the thought of it, but I kind of see what Winterfurth is saying. Like, if let's just say we lose Rafinha, we don't get Demebele, we get Sterling, and we've got Havertz, but we can get Ronaldo from Man United, maybe on a loan, just for the season. Do you turn that away,
bro? I don't. You got more chance of dancing on the moon than United loaning us Ronaldo. No, honestly, they're going to ask for something like 30 million or something.
But Chelsea are not going to give him a 4-year contract. We're not going to give him a 4-year contract. He's going to end up getting You're going to get like a
2
1
years.
year or 2 year contract. Yeah.
It probably 2 years. Yeah.
It just depends how much for. Chelsea Fan TV with a donation says CR7, Pulisic, Odoi, Ziyech, Werner. That's why.
Huh?
He's put CR7 over Pulisic, Odoi, Ziyech, Werner. Like he's just basically just said this is the difference. That's why. Basically over them four.
But the thing is, all them people you mentioned, besides Werner's like an inside forward, they're wingers, mate. So yeah, he is different because Ronaldo's more of that central player now since he ain't got legs anymore.
Got another donation. We've got another donation from Julius has come in saying, when you are in Champions League semi-final, CR7 would be a big difference. I think he would be a fantastic signing, and we need a striker. There is not a striker and a better goal scorer than him. I think Robert Lewandowski, personally.
Jem, it's happening again. We've called as a fan base to make smarter signings instead of signing big names. And as soon as a big name comes available, everybody falls back into the trap. Please, guys, think. Just I know it's a big name. It's Ronaldo. He's one of the greatest to ever put on a pair of football boots. But as a fan base, we've acknowledged that spending stupid money on big names is not the best, going forward. Don't fall into the trap again.
I agree. And it is a horrible trap. It's a trap that we should be slapping our wrist and realising that every time we make a big marquee signing, it don't work. But it does beg this question. And it might sound like I'm playing devil's advocate here. If we only get Sterling and we don't get anyone else and he is available for a year, is it worth entertaining in the terms of the creativity? And are we going to create enough for him? No Rafinha, no Demebele. Maybe not as much. Is Sterling and him a good fit together? Will Sterling create enough for him? I don't think Sterling's that type of player to create more than him getting on the end of things. It's a weird one. I just so up in the air with it all. It's I don't know. I agree with you. My mind is the way you see it, which is that we need to learn from our lessons. Let's not be stupid about this. We don't need him. Let's just concentrate on thinking. But it really depends on who we bring through the door, because bringing Sterling's cool, but we still need one other individual. Who is going to be that one other individual? We have to wait and see. Julius, big up to you, man. Nice to see you in the chat.
That's the thing, Jem. If it's just Sterling, he's not really much of a creator. He's more of that goal scorer. I can understand people's thinking if it's Rafinha that was close to coming in, that creator coming in, and then I could see why people say Ronaldo. But who's providing for Sterling and Ronaldo, bro, in this team currently?
I feel that
that's it.
Yeah, if we get Ronaldo, that is a big sign that we are sticking to the 3. There's no way in hell we're playing a 4 with Ronaldo up front. 100%. Why? Because Ben Chilwell and Reece James will be our creative sparks. We failed on Rafinha. We failed on Dembele. Our only creative elements of this system will fall again on Chilwell and Reece James. And that is the only way that we're going to be able to get the best out of Ronaldo in a 3, I think. If he turns down Ronaldo and we struggle to score goals, you don't think Boehly would raise an eyebrow. That's the other thing. And I hear it. This is what I'm saying. It's a weird one because I don't think it's going to happen. I've just lost. I had, where's he gone? Sosa with a comment. Thank you for the donation. He says, is good quality players out here? Ronaldo ain't it got to be smart. Is good quality players out here? Ronaldo ain't it got to be smart. So yeah, sorry, I read that wrong. So what he's saying is there is good quality players out there, but he feels Ronaldo isn't the answer. And he says we've got to be smart. And I've said for a very long time that we've got to be smart. And smart meaning covering the areas across the pitch and not just buying 1 or 2 players. Ronaldo, I don't know. I'm more inclined to feel the way Con feels about it, to be honest, at the moment. I'm not really liking the entertaining idea, but I am open and listening to what you guys are saying in chat. It feels like we're sort of split between it. And we did do a poll on this where 53% Con have said Ronaldo to Chelsea, yes. 47% have said no. So that is pretty much close, bang average, nearly. So guys, if you haven't voted, get voting now. The Ronaldo to Chelsea, yes or no? I want to get more of a clearer image on this. At the moment,
if you don't mind, sorry, Gemma, that means to
yeah,
I'll
go
open
on,
up, the channels you're on, And if you said yes to Ronaldo, just for me, because I'm someone who's totally against it, so if someone wants to write a bit of an explanation, so I can read as me and Jem are talking, just to why you'd want him and what's the upside of him, I'm more than down to hear it. I'm down to hear the other side, but for me, yeah.
Guys, you heard it. Put your explanations. If you're a Ronaldo in, can you please put an explanation into the chat now? We'll bring it up and we'll read it. I want to understand why you feel Ronaldo would be perfect for Chelsea going into next season and why. And also, I want to know who else comes in that window with him for it to work. Because if you're telling me it's just Ronaldo, then, and maybe Sterling, then I don't know. But I want to hear it. I want to hear what people have got to say. There's a lot of people saying, get him in, get him in. Jason, we've got another comment here. I've just missed it. Jason with a comment says, to be honest, I don't think it will be that bad. The shirt sales will pay off his wages. He definitely will score more goals. And there's no one better right now, is what Jason's saying. Everyone's kind of falling into that mist. He is 37 years old, guys. He is pushing it. You know, all right, he still can play in the league. I get that. He's not the player he was a couple of years ago, but he does. Yeah, go on.
So I don't mean to be rude, but we're not Todd Boehly, so why do we care about his players, his shirt sales? You know, like that's not for a reason for what I'd want to bring a player in because of the shirt sales. Like, why would I care about that? That's on Todd Boehly, not for me to care about. I want my player to perform on the pitch.
Yeah, Chelsea Fan TV says, super chat both channels to guarantee your questions being answered. Please do so. Thank everyone for the donations so far to the channel. This guy's talking shite. Sterling is in top 3 for creating new. Hi, bro. Well, to be fair, he's got 30 goal assists. That is true. I'm not too sure. I'm still not too sure with the way that we play. We're a little bit different to see. No, Jem, if we think like that, it'll be the same to what happened to Lukaku. Let's see what people got to say. Ronaldo won't go to Chelsea. You lads are worse than United for losing players this year. Chelsea need a whole new defence, is what Richie's saying. Big up to ZVO Genius in the chat. Chelsea SW6 says, if Ronaldo played for us in both FA and Carabao finals, we'd have won both. We'd won both. All those chances Ronaldo scores. Also, Ronaldo pays for himself. So does Neymar. That's the first response, Con, in them instances. So if we get to finals and we make them big chances that we keep fucking up on, 9 times out of 10, they feel that Ronaldo will bury them, and that will be the difference.
See, I think it's a bit disingenuous because for one, that's a what if, right? And two, if you look at the players the chances fell for, it wasn't the guy who was playing number 9 that game. It fell for Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic. You know, they weren't playing 9 that game. So who says the chances would have fell to Ronaldo that game? You know, I don't know. I don't know because creating for our 9 is an issue at Chelsea. Like, we can't ignore it. It is, and as bad as Lukaku was, we didn't really create much for him either. And my problem was he didn't do enough to sort of try help himself. And I feel like it would be the same with Ronaldo. If you're not creating for him, he's not going to try to do much to help himself either.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. That is my biggest worry of the whole thing with Cristiano Ronaldo. It's not that he can't score goals, because we know he can score goals. That's not the issue with Ronaldo right now. The issue is he going to do enough to make or create for himself or get involved? Or is he just going to disappear in games? Is he going to walk around the pitch? Is he, we saw it with Man United last year. If you don't get him involved, he disappears. He's not that player he was before. There's a lot of pros. And the thing is, and Piers has commented as well, he says, Cristiano Ronaldo at Chelsea has a lot of pros and lots of cons. The pros being he will score goals. The mentality, the leadership aspect would be great. And the club would earn a lot of money. But the cons are he doesn't press. He's 37, so he won't be here for long. Huge wages, etc. I think this is the thing. It's about
is it guaranteed he's going to score loads of goals, though? Because we all said that about Lukaku, that he was going to score loads of goals. Like, of course, he's got a proven track record of Ronaldo, but so did Lukaku. I think in the last 6 seasons, there was only one season he didn't score 20-plus goals. And the second time he did it was with us. So I don't know if that's a guarantee that he does score goals.
I think he will. I think if you put him in the right position, you find him. I think if Reece James is down the wing and he whips the ball in and he's free in the box, he's scoring. He's not going to hit the post. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, he's just, I don't know. He's just not going to do that, is he? He is an elite goal scorer. And some people, I'm just so intrigued with the chat right now because everyone's so mixed. And I've got more to see.
It's entertaining, yeah.
Also,
like when
Boehly.
someone says a short-term fix. Sorry.
No, go on. What are you saying, Con? Go on.
I was just gonna say when people say it's a short-term fix of the 1 year, they're kind of swayed me a little bit with that. I can't lie.
Yeah,
But my
that's
issue
what I'm
is I
thinking.
just don't see him here being for just 1 year. I feel if we get a deal, he's going to be here for 2 years minimum, and the wages are going to be massive. But if we could somehow shithouse a 1 year thing, bro, I'd be a bit more open to it. I can't lie.
Also, Boehly is a marketing master. You mad with Ronaldo and Neymar? It elevates Chelsea. It elevates us from a branding aspect. Yes, obviously, we'd see more money come in. We would sell more shirts. It would help the football club. Is overall turnover, etc. Yes, I get that, but I'm just thinking it from a Tuchel point, because what is the biggest thing that we've all said that Todd Boehly is meant to be doing with Thomas Tuchel this season? It is providing with the backing. It's for him to make the decisions on who he wants to come in. Now, what happens if Tuchel doesn't want him, but these two do? I'm talking about the owners, and then they end up buying him. Does that then put us back into the whole scenario of the Roman scenario? Does that, do you know what I mean? Because I thought we was meant to be moving away from that. From Tuchel's perspective, he's going to be like, well, you've asked me to make decisions. I've told you, but then you've gone and got him, but I didn't want him. Like, does that go? Does that go against? Does that affect their relate? Like, this is the thing. It's a weird one. Better team than United. We can make more chances for him. Movement in the box. He'd be our best goal scorer in the last 10 years. Link ups with Sterling. Demand success and won't let mentality drop. That's Carefree Lewis.
Can I make a point, Jim?
Go on.
So I think it's a point no one's really spoke about. Do you think Kai Havertz deserves that one season where he's given that role of number 9 and say, "You're the man for this season. We paid a lot of money for you. This is the season you're going to give us back. But you're going to be the main guy." I think he hasn't, because last season he didn't get the opportunity because of Lukaku, and he found himself on the bench sometimes when it was a bit unjust. I feel like he hasn't really been able to break out, and I think you need to make Kai Havertz that main man. You need to tell him, "You're that main guy. There's nobody else here now. It's all on you. You have to perform for us." I think we need that from Kai Havertz. I feel like if you get Ronaldo in, you're kind of not really backing Havertz again. I feel he needs that one season where he's fully backed as that guy.
I think it depends on what you see Kai Havertz as, because I agree with you. I feel we should give the boy a chance. You spent 75 million on this boy. Yeah, and let's be serious. A lot of people are not giving him a lot, more time at moving forward now. It's at a point now where people are saying, right, he's got to kick on now. He's got to be more consistent. He's got to do this, he's got to do that. To do that, he needs to be given the time to play. But it just depends on what you see and where you see Kai Havertz in this Chelsea team. Does he lead the line? Do you feel like we should give him the chance to lead the line? Or do you feel that he needs to be dropped off as maybe like a 10 playing off the side, whatever? It depends on what you see him as. For me, I feel we need to give him a chance. I feel that we should be giving him a chance. But yeah, we have to see. By the way, I don't want Ronaldo to join us. I'm just thinking what other options we have out there. If both Demebele and Rafinha don't join us, I cannot think of what others we'd look at and be linked to. True, that's true, because they've not really told us anything else. He is going live. We'll be finishing off very shortly as well, so you can go and check out Lewis after this. We've got a super chat from M Evolution 2022. Thank you for the donation. He says, "I appreciate that he's a big name, but our recent big signings up top have been over 50 mil. We could get Ronaldo for much cheaper, and the club would earn a ton of money purely buying him as well." I think it does fall down to the ultimately, what are you getting for? If you are going to get him, what can you buy? What is that price tag for him to be sold from Man United? And what sort of wage demand can you agree for him? Because you're telling me he wants a 450k a week stupid wage at 37 years old, then I'm telling him to fuck off. And the player he is, Mendes as his man. Apparently Mendes and Boehly have a good relationship anyway, from what we've been told. I just feel that's taking the piss. He would have to take a bit of a cut, personally, if he really wants to leave Man United, which is very weird for me, reading, to be honest, because I never thought he'd play for anyone else other than Man United. It's a weird one. Clutch says, "I've seen Ronaldo miss some sitters last season, but he won't work for our system. I'm sorry, amazing player. Ronaldo would work on the pitch and off the pitch. Players can learn from his work rate." See what I mean? Everyone's like, "I'll pay CR7's flight to London. A1 over these bummy attackers." Screaming Sue.
See, the thing is, when I saw that comment, bro, about like the Dembele and Rafinha, but how is Ronaldo that answer to the right wing creator? Like, that's not an answer to the right, like, getting the right wing and creator. Like, it's not. It's not an answer. And then if we're going
Lewis
to get rid of
Havertz
CS
is a
as well,
meaty
that's
one.
another creative.
Yeah. He's saying Havertz is a meaty number 9, play him as a 10 or don't play him at all. I don't think you can do that.
He's not a creative player though, Havertz though. So why would you play him as a 10? If you
I
go
don't
for more of a second striker thing, fairs, but as a 10, I don't see Kai working.
Kai got plenty of chances at a number 9 role. I don't think. I mean, he had chances throughout the season, but I wouldn't say
And
he
how many
played.
times were Chelsea fans, bro, were saying we play better when Kai Havertz is there?
I know.
Because people
There
forget,
is-
people praise them a lot too. They did praise him a lot. It's recency bias, bros, because how he ended the season, where he kind of had that little bit of a slump, it's recency bias. But I tell you what, I could go down and look at everybody who's commenting here, and they're bigging up Kai Havertz for performance at number 9. I can guarantee you that 100%. It's recency bias of how the season ended. I guarantee it.
Ronaldo will not join Chelsea as he doesn't want to stop the development of Havertz and Mount. That ain't true, is it? Ronaldo or Havertz, easy choice is what we've got here. See what else? He ain't a goal scorer either. He's finishing his like Cho. What, Havertz? No, it ain't. That's taking the piss. See, this is where your agenda comes out. That's nonsense. He's finishing is not a Cho. Cho scored 4 goals in fucking 72 Premier League games. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. This is where it gets annoying. I know what Lewis is doing. Right, I am going to finish off in a second, but people will tell me check Absolute Chelsea. What's happened with Absolute Chelsea now? What have they done? Let's have a quick look. Cristiano is willing to take considerable pay cut to join a cut. Well, okay, let's go to this then. Okay, so here's another little bit of news for you guys on the Ronaldo saga, which seems to be heating up. Miguel Delaney from Chief Football Underwriter at Independent, so quite a solid paper saying Cristiano Ronaldo is willing to take a considerable pay cut in order to join a UCL challenger. Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and PSG among preferred options. Wow. So he's willing to take a pay cut. How much of a pay cut is he willing to take? And how much are Man United going to sell him for? Is my next question on that one. This is getting crazy.
I suppose, Jim, let's say if it was like a 20 mil fee, he takes like a big wage cut, and like someone said, his marketing will pay for a lot of that salary, right? And it's here for a short-term option. He's not taking up too much of our budget with that 20 million. Let's be real. The wages, a lot of that will be covered by him, but obviously the club still has to pay out a lot. You can still probably get your Sterling and Rafinha as well. You might be able to. It really does come down to the type of deal it comes to, I think. I think that's what it is. The type of deal. If it's a very cheap transfer like price to pay, the wages ain't that much of a problem, and we still have loads of money to focus on centre backs and wingers, and maybe even a DM and wing back cover, then I don't think it's as bad. I think it really is deal dependent. Really is deal dependent.
It's not recency bias, but he's almost played number 9 when Lukaku first got injured. He was not good then. We only got through the. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say he was not good when he was asked to play in number 9. He went through a part of the season where we become reliant on him. I remember the goal against, was it Newcastle at home, where he brought it down in the 90th minute and bang, bottom corner. You know, he went through a decent spell, run of form in that position. The issue with Kai Havertz, and it stands with him, is his consistency. You know, and can he improve? Of course he can. But people need to log in their head sometimes. This boy is young. He's a young player. Yeah, we're talking about a 37-year-old Ronaldo coming to the retirement side of things to a 20. How old is he now? Kai, 3, 4? I can't remember how old he is. Kai Havertz, like he is. You know, he will be given I think he will be given time, and the pressure is on. I do expect him to kick forward. He has to kick forward from now, but I still feel we have to give him time. I still feel we have to give him the time. He's very poor. You know, before he even came to Chelsea, his stats for goals scored in Leverkusen were pretty impressive. You know, it's a weird one. Hamad, you've donated, bro. Thank you for that, but you've not written anything. Not written anything. You just paid us free money with nothing in the comment, bro. Big up to you, though. Big up to you. Big shout out to you. 350k, 20 mil, and basically swapping Lukaku for Ronaldo for season and 10 mil. Is what Jake Lawrence is saying. Look, like I said, right price, pay cut, whatever, you know, we'll pull to it 100%. Anything where it requires stupid wages, like Lukaku style wages, yeah, and dependent on what Man United want for him, if it's something stupid like 50, 60 mil, then I'm saying no. But that's my opinion. Remember when we moved Kai to one of the wide tens, he was bad. He only been good at 9. It just goes around in circles, doesn't it? Everyone's got it's bad because everyone's got mixed opinions, and a man has never had a good first half of a season in his career. That's true. That is true. He hasn't been consistent at the beginning part of the season. Something he definitely needs to work on. Yeah, but we can because we're not challenging for a title. I thought we've all come to this agreement that challenging for the Premier League isn't happening next season. Or have we changed our minds now? Are we going back to we're going to win the league? In it, Con? Are we going back to we're winning the league now? What's happening? Are we doing what we did last season? I didn't, but talk for other Chelsea fans. We're going back to we're going to win everything. Or what's going on here?
Probably we're a reactionary bunch, ain't we? Very reactionary bunch. I'm not falling into the trap again, though. I'm not, because I was at a point where I was seriously considering we could, and then I got hit by reality and realising we ain't as good as I thought we was. And that's why I'm a bit skeptical about this Ronaldo thing, man. I feel like people are just getting caught up by the name. Make smarter signings. Oh, sorry.
No, go on, mate. Yeah, finish it off, actually, because I'm just about to find saying.
I was just going to say, bro, make smarter signings, and then the first big name that pops up, everybody's on it like a rash. It makes me laugh a little bit, I can't lie.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you on this one, mate. So we had a comment here from Matt de Bono. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who he is. I don't know who that is. He's the leader. He's the owner / leader of Absolute Chelsea and Sport Lad Bible. This guy. He's came out saying that my thoughts have a feeling this is another Georgie Mendes breathing. The first meeting between him and Todd Boehly was definitely him. And now convenient timing that after Ronaldo informs United he wants to go, Chelsea now consider a move. My thoughts, having a feeling that this is another Georgie Mendes briefing. The first meeting between him and Todd Boehly was definitely him. You're talking about Ronaldo, obviously. And now convenient timing that after Ronaldo informs United he wants to go. So he feels that potentially the meeting between Mendes and Boehly has triggered Ronaldo to want to move on. Is what he's saying, basically. Which is it's interesting stuff, man. It really is. There's so much going on, guys. But I do need to get out of here as well. We've got another donation. Werner wants you. Thank you for the donation. We have to say to ourselves, where is Pogba in this? Oh, fuck it hell. Werner wants you. Big up for the donation, bro. Big up to this donation. Exactly. We are not going to win the league this year. Ronaldo Neymar elevates the club to a different level. I don't think Neymar does. This Neymar thing, I can't make logic of it. I can't. It don't work for me, Neymar. The Ronaldo thing, if he takes a massive pay cut and we get him really cheap for a year or two and we don't sign any other players in the forward line, I'll listen. That's my answer to it, guys. That is literally it. Other than that, I don't think I can be pulled into that. I'm not falling into the trap of Kai. He's living off a UCL final goal. He needs to go through day one of the season. If not, then get rid. He's had 2 seasons and stagnated. Step up or step off. Some people feel not too happy with Kai Havertz, Con. Some people are not happy with Kai Havertz.
Nah, it's clear, isn't it?
Werner wants you. That was quite a good one, to be fair. We're going to finish it off now. Just so many comments coming on this. Every time I want to leave. Big up Todd Boehly. Sign up Ronaldo and Neymar. Is what Chelsea FW6 is saying. Independent Variable says, is Rafinha still possible? I don't know. We're still in that position. We're up in that boat. If we get Rafinha and we get Sterling. Con, let me ask you this. If we get Rafinha and Sterling comes and we get Ronaldo on a cheap, are you happy?
What's that, bro?
If we get Rafinha, Sterling, and then we end up managing to pick Ronaldo up as well for a cheap, say he cut as a big pay cut, and we get him quite cheap from Man United, are you happy with that?
Yeah.
So you're not worried about the developments of the Kais and the Mounts and everyone else if we're buying these players then?
Rafinha gives us that creativity on the right. I'd still want Kai playing a lot of minutes. I think Ronaldo's not playing every game of the season either. He had a few injuries last season with United. So I want, if it was me, bro, I want Kai trusted for a season because you pay a lot of money for him. It's time to see if he can be that guy or not, you know. But If that was presented to me, bro, I'm not turning it down because it would be good. It'd be good business.
So someone said Ronaldo, Sterling, and Dembele for around 60 million is not terrible. Then you use 140 million to get Kounde and De Ligt, and that's your 200 mil.
60 million for them three. What?
No, they're saying if you get Ronaldo, Sterling, and Dembele for 60 mil, so Dembele would be free. Sterling's 50 odd mil. You ain't going to get Ronaldo for 10 mil. Ronaldo's going to be about 20, 30, 40 probably. Nah, luck for him.
But
anyway.
then the wages of Sterling will be around 300k. The wages of Ronaldo will probably be around the same, and Dembele won't be cheap wages either. So in reality, it sounds cheap, but on the wage bill, it's big.
And on that note, guys, what a show. It's been a show where everything's just, I've not been able to really plan for it. It's just come at us and we've just gone at it and given our thoughts, and everyone in the chat's got involved. So many of you with different opinions, as always. Loved the show, to be honest, guys. Thanks every single one of you guys for being here. Still over 650 of you guys combined in here as well. Make sure we get both channels over. Well, let's get this over 300 likes on the Chelsea Fan TV side, guys. GNA side, let's get this over 200, please. We've only 17 likes away from that. So let's get that over 200. It's over 312 on GNA and 312, funny enough, on Chelsea Fan TV. So big up to every single one of you guys in here as well. Listen, go and check out Lewis on his channel. He's going live now at 3 o'clock as well. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. As always, thank you, Jem and Con, is what Chelsea Fan TV is saying. Well, thank you as well to this show. And it's a growing show. I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying doing not only on the GNA side, which I've always done, but also doing it on the Chelsea Fan TV side and getting different opinions from all of you guys as well. It's been really, really good. Con, any final words, mate?
Jem, as always, it's a pleasure, mate. I love talking football with you. Like you said, because even if you don't agree on something, the conversation is just so nice and casual. And it was good with the chat as well. Like today, like the 10 reasons why it'd be good. I thought it was brilliant. I love just conversing with Chelsea fans and talking football. So thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on and giving us your time as always, mate. And I'm sure we'll have you back on once we start actually seeing some more developing news on the players that are brought in as well. Remember, guys, Ben Jacobs is with us on Thursday at 1 p.m. to go through all of the news. Hopefully we have some players signed and we'll be able to talk about players or whatever. I think stuff's going to happen in the next couple of days. Fingers crossed this time round. We'll have to see. But big up to every single one of you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves and we'll be back very, very soon. Peace out, guys. Take care.